Now, I will say this musical part reminds me of my church. Like right before the pastor comes on.
And asks you for money?
You gotta do it. Gotta do it. My name is
Yeah.
Mike Jimenez, and this is the Alamo City Sportscast coming at you from San Antonio, Texas. We're on the west side of San Antonio. We're on the west side of Bexar County as well. Again, my name is Mike Jimenez. Joe Garcia producing today's show. You know, typically we talk Spurs. We sometimes talk Cowboys, but believe it or not, we're talking UIW basketball today, or should I say UIW brawling, because, man, last night's game made national headlines, national news, not only on sports, but on news. Dude, Fox News Channel, I heard, was talking about this earlier today. But you know what? Let's get into it already and just show the video already. Let's get into it. By the way, we are live on YouTube. We're going to go for about an hour and 15 minutes or so. But last night at the UIW game, yeah. Last night at the UIW game, a brawl broke out at the end of the game between Texas A&M Commerce and UIW. UIW had just lost 76-72 in overtime. This is a game that they blew because they were up late in the game. Commerce tied it with a three-pointer to send it to overtime and then hit a dagger. They are going on this handshake line after the game, and a brawl broke out. This lasted well over 2 minutes, and you can see it went from side to side on the court. Players from both teams, coaches, it spilled into the stands as well. And what I was told was that after the brawl, that after the ESPN had stopped showing this, right? They had gone off the air, that it sparked up again.
Oh,
so there's actually more fighting that happened that we don't even see going on in this. And my question today is Incarnate Word's season over at this point? Because I saw their schedule today. They've got 5 games left on the regular season. Then they've got the Southland Conference tournament beginning on March 10th. People telling me that were at this game that it was chippy. No technical fouls, but everyone can hear that both sides were talking trash to each other throughout the entire game. Okay? But no flagrant fouls, no hard fouls, nothing like that. Just chippiness and a lot of smack talk going both ways. Again, UIW, it was a back and forth game. UIW had a 3-point lead late in the game, blew it because A&M Commerce knocked down a 3 to send it to overtime. And apparently UIW missed free throw after free throw after free throw down the stretch. And UIW is not a very good team. Okay, they have a losing record. So does A&M Commerce. So the reports are that the fight was started by an Incarnate Word player. And if you're taking a look at the video, courtesy of ESPN, I don't see how this team is going to play again this year because everybody's involved.
And it says that disciplinary action will be handed out. They're going to review the footage and they're going to issue out the appropriate disciplinary action is what they said, because it's unsportsmanlike behavior and it's unacceptable. It's what a spokesman said in the Sutherland Conference.
Yes.
And the safety of our students and athletes, coaches, spectators, and officials remains a top priority.
Yeah, that is a joint statement by a PR person that was not at the game from the Southland Conference. But we have lots of comments coming in. Noah Bettis reaches out and says, "Are you ready to rumble?"
I like this other one. Not only are you ready to rumble, glass break. Here comes Stone Cold. Can you imagine if you would have played the music? They would have went perfect with this.
I mean,
and yes, Tim Gonzalez says their season is over.
Now, let me ask you this. And for those of you who are following along right now, we're live on YouTube. You can leave a comment. Best ones get read and posted on our show. We're also available on all the major podcast platforms later on today. Let me ask this question. Should Incarnate Word be held to a higher standard because they are a school that is inside of a church?
It's a private school.
It's a private school, but it's also a Catholic school. You know, this isn't a public university. Should they hold themselves to a higher standard? Should they wait for Southland Conference to come down with the decision? Or should UIW, the people who are in charge of this school, should they come down and say, you know what, we're done for the year. Season's almost over. It's not like they're going to make a run at the NCAAs. They're not going to make up the March Madness tournament. They suck. They have a losing record.
Maybe they were fighting for their season. No pun intended.
And it's so funny because people that I talked to that were at this game were talking to me about this, saying, UIW had every chance in the world to win this game. That they got so frustrated because they've been losing so often. They got frustrated because this was their game to win. It was back and forth, but down the stretch, UIW did not put it away, did not make their free throws, and then gave up a 3 at the buzzer. A&M Commerce goes in and wins in overtime, stuck the dagger. Now, a couple other things, because I think that the school needs to be held at a higher standard. They are a church school.
Yeah, they are.
Okay. Hold them to a higher standard. There's only 5 games left in the regular season. They're not going to make any noise in the postseason. Just end the season already, because, you know, if you are doing a basketball game and a fight breaks out and you leave the bench, you are suspended, right? You are suspended for leaving the bench. In this case here, you see the players go from one side of the court to the other side of the court to the other side of the court, and this thing went on for minutes at a time. Do you know what I don't see these players doing? Going to the locker room. Okay. And I'm not trying to be holier than thou, but them's the rules.
You have security there trying to go ahead and
police was on the scene. It wasn't security at this point. At some point, SAPD was on the scene, or at least campus police was on the scene and taking reports and things like that. And there were actually punches that got landed. This wasn't the hold me back. Punches were thrown, punches were landed, and it spilled onto the court. There's a report that one of the spectators that was in the crowd was actually a UIW basketball player on the female side, on the girls' side.
So it was kind of like a Malice in the Palace.
It kind of was. Now,
hey, but you know what? They blew the lead, right? This is what you said, UIW.
Yeah.
That shouldn't surprise you if you're a Spurs fan. It's very Spurs-like basketball. You're up by a certain amount of points. You squander the lead. The other team goes back and wins.
What it was, UIW lost 76-72. Their record falls to 8-18. The thing was that A&M Commerce was up by double digits, and Incarnate Word came all the way back and stormed all the way back to take the lead within the last minute or two of the game, of the second half. So they were down. Get this, Joe. They were down by double digits. They fight all the way back, take a 3-point lead with a minute to go in the game, and then lose that lead, and they go to overtime and they lose that game. So they have that whole thing about we're coming back. We have the lead. And at the buzzer, game goes into overtime.
And that's why they tell you got to play the full, 48 minutes in the NBA?
Yeah, well, this is 40 minutes in college.
40 minutes, yeah.
But, you know, it's funny because, you know, I referee high school basketball. You know, this year I did some 6A varsity. That is just one step below this, right? I mean, I'm sure there's what used to be NAIA or whatnot, but I mean, it's not like Southland Conference is Big 12, right? I mean, it's a lower level D1.
Yeah.
It's
just a bad look.
But if there was chippiness going on, if there was smack talk going on throughout the entire game, that had to be stopped. And if the players aren't stopping it, and the coaches aren't stopping it, and if the officials aren't stopping it, well, something's going to happen. And my question is, why are they treating this like they're middle schoolers and doing a handshake after the game? That is so freaking stupid to do a handshake after the game, especially when it's like that, because you want to show sportsmanship, right?
Yeah.
But you know what? Stuff like this is going to happen.
You know what's funny, though? It's because Texas A&M, right? They probably were talking smack the whole game, and then they got over on them in overtime. So when they went to shake hands, probably somebody said something, and that was it. You know, they had enough, and it just went crazy, dude.
Chris Gonzalez reaches out and says UIW was up by 9 with 3:30 left in the second half, and then in a blink of an eye was only up by 2. Also says that this reminds him of the Knicks and Bulls in the
90s. Was nothing but a flesh wound. You know,
Midtown Texas come out and saying Hildebrand now as ghetto as North Star.
Hey, man, North Star is pretty rough, dude. The neighborhood around there, man.
It is, man. It is. But again, this was on ESPN. This video is courtesy of ESPN. Again, when they went off the air, because they showed the melee for a while, and then it seemed to kind of die down. And then they signed off, and then the fight started again. So we're only seeing half of what happened.
That's ridiculous, man.
It was probably 2.5 minutes of just craziness. And then they're like, oh, well, we're going off the air. You know, Sports Center's next.
Yeah. Well, you know what? At least San Antonio's getting some exposure now.
Yeah, do you really want to have this exposure
on the national level? Because it
now,
even made USA Today Sports. I mean, come on.
I know. I was like, Fox News Channel had it early today, and somebody called me like, I'm watching Fox News and they're showing UIW basketball. So it's funny because I'm talking like I'm holding them down, but if I was there, I'd be like, yeah, get him, get him.
You drinking your little fireball shot.
I mean, get that motherfucker. Okay, so let's talk about that right now. Okay, we talk a good game and we say that we don't want to see stuff like this, but we do. It's like when we go to football, we say we don't want to see anybody get CTE or get concussions, but man, when they get hit hard, we get excited about it. We're like Joaquin Phoenix's character in Gladiator. We just thirst for that blood.
Oh God.
So I'm a holier than thou right now because I'm watching this and I was, look at the highlights on ESPN. But if I was there, I'd probably be digging it, man. I mean, I'll be honest with you.
You probably would have landed a punch on somebody. You would have said, I'm undefeated at basketball brawls.
I'm 1-0 in Fiesta fights. Somebody asked me on Twitter earlier today, how many fights have I lost? Okay. Oh. I lost one fight in fourth grade. Okay. There was this one guy that had it out for me. I lost a fight in fourth grade. Now, let me ask you about this one. This happened at Saul Ross when I was in middle school. There was a bully who was always picking on me, right? And for some reason, he targeted me the entire time. And one time, he tried to come kick me. I caught his foot, threw him to the ground, and I won.
Oh,
okay, but then his friend comes over, jumps on top of me, and they both beat the crap out of me. So I remember getting up going, what, it has to be 2-on-1? I remember screaming, you can't fight your own fight? You got to be 2-on-1?
No.
And I remember that. So did I win that fight or did I lose that fight or was that a draw?
No.
Because 1-on-1 I was winning. But 2-on-1, obviously, I was going to get my ass kicked.
You lost that fight. But let me ask you.
I know, dude. Everyone saw me take down the bully. It's the bully's friend, the other bully, who came and got me.
You just got to take them both down.
Seth reaching out to us. How much bigger was she?
Oh, my God.
No, the bully, the original bully was about my size. His friend was a lot bigger than me.
Look at that. They said you would have been at the UIW game recording, yelling World Star.
We're yelling World Star.
Oh, God. Man, I got into some little skirmishes, too, when I was a kid in elementary.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question, man. That's how I know you ain't about this life, bro. Did you have a belt on? Were you a kid? You know how they make you wear belts?
Yeah.
That's a weapon, man. Because if you were up 2 against 1, you take your belt off, you start swinging.
Oh, this happened in gym class.
I don't matter.
No, there's no belt when you've got
a gym class.
Your
there's teachers there, man.
No, they're not in gym class.
Tall tale time.
Oh, Jonathan C. reaches out and says, you won the fight when the friend has to jump in. Mike won. There you go.
Man.
But I did get punched in the face and kicked in the stomach. So
in gym class.
In gym class.
Jesus, man.
Very nice. Very nice.
No, man, we would terrorize some kids when we were in elementary school. It was a rough life, bro. You're the ones that doing the ass kicking, or you're the ones receiving the ass kicking. I'd rather be on the other hand.
Now, tall tale time. I was in Vegas, and I have lots of friends who witnessed this, by the way, so I can call 10 people on this. I was in Vegas one time. It was for one of my best friend's bachelor parties, and I got drunk off my ass at this one bar/nightclub, and I was walking through the club, and apparently a fight was breaking out, and I wasn't paying attention because I was drunk. Dude, sorry. 5th day in the row you've done that. 5th show in the row you've done that. What are you doing?
$1. Put $1 in the
what are you doing? What are you doing?
It's because when we go ahead and do the intro, I don't hit the stop button, and then we went straight to the video, right?
Yeah.
So I forget to hit the little button because it's still hot. Okay. All of these got to push the button.
So we need to have like a swear jar or something, right? So you have to put $1 in the jar
every time.
Every time you actually go back to the intro.
Yeah.
What do I need to what, a tall tale that you don't believe?
Oh God.
Oh no, this right here was a fight broke out. A fight broke out, and I walked into a punch. This other guy was trying to hit another guy, and I was like going to the restroom, and I walked right into it.
Oh God.
I was bleeding from the mouth and all that stuff, but you know what? I survived. And me and that guy were friends by the end of the night. There's more to the story than that, but still.
You ever been hit so hard you try to befriend them right then and there? Oh, God.
No, that guy was actually very apologetic because he was actually trying to swing at another dude. So we became friends, not because I was trying to like, you know, I was trying to like save myself from the situation.
Look at Elias. He says that's Joe's bullshit alone.
Oh my goodness! But you know what? I mean, it's funny because we're talking about this incarnate word brawl and how it's making national headlines, not only on the sports departments but the news departments because it's great video.
Yeah.
On ESPN Plus. But it's one of those things where, you know, I don't want to see it happen, but at the same time, only if I'm there. Only if I'm there. You know, because I know that when I'm at UTSA football games, I'm screaming, knock his head off. God, that's just the way that it is.
I wouldn't be screaming at nobody. I'd be drinking. Too busy drinking and bullshitting with my boys.
Jonathan C., what is this, amateur hour? Come on, Joe.
Yeah, for real, dude.
So we could talk in sports today because I know you wanted to talk Cowboys, right? Typically, before I do the show or as the show starts, I say all the things that we're going to talk about, but I really wanted to get into the brawl. Okay,
I really want to get into the first rule of fighting: no hitting of the face or hair.
Very Anchorman. No hitting of the face or hair.
Oh,
now let's do
God,
this,
man. Freaking Anchorman.
You wanted to talk about the Cowboys. Tyron Smith, man, a guy that's been injured 2 out of the last 4 years. Dude wants to get paid. Now, let me ask you this, because you're a Cowboy fan.
Yeah.
Tyron Smith, everyone seems to say that he's like a surefire Hall of Famer. Do you believe Tyron Smith is a Hall of Famer?
I believe he is, but at the same time, the brother's injured a lot of times, man. He hasn't had a full healthy season. You know, over the past 3 seasons, he's had a lot of injuries. He's missed 4 games with knee, back, neck issues. I mean, that was just going back to last season. He missed all but 4 in the 22 season, 2022 season. He tore his hamstring in training camp that year. I mean, he hasn't played a full season for the Cowboys since 2015, and he wants to get paid, and he's getting up there in age.
Yeah.
You got to let him walk, man.
The dude's a Hall of Famer, man. He's a walking Hall of Famer. 8-time Pro Bowler, 2-time first-team All-Pro, 3-time second-team All-Pro, who's part of the NFL's 2010s All-Decade team. So, yeah, the guy is a Hall of Famer, surefire Hall of Famer. There's a reason why the Cowboys went and drafted Tyler Smith is because they knew that Tyron at some point was either going to be too old to play or he was going to get hurt. And for the beginning part of his career, he was pretty reliable, going out there. And the first, I'm taking a look at his statistics. First 5 seasons of his career, played every single game, started every single game, but then he's down to 13 games, 13,
mileage,
then 2,
bro.
then 11, then 4, then 13. He has averaged, I guess you can say, 7 or 8 games per year the last 4 years because of injuries and things like that. It's one of those things because, Jerry Jones is loyal. Jerry Jones is somebody who likes his certain players.
Yeah.
He kept Jason Garrett on for so long as head coach. He rode Zeke Elliott so much, and he wanted to keep him there. He has a loyalty.
What they call that? Gentleman's agreements.
Well, I hate to say this. You got to do it for Tyron Smith.
No, man, he's old already.
You
bro.
have
you gotta let
to.
him go. You got to let him go.
You have to, because he's a future Hall of Famer, and
can't
he gave at the office.
You can't get caught up in your feelings, man. It's a business at the end of the day. Jerry has been making bad deals. Do the right thing, Jerry. Let him walk. Go after someone else.
I don't see them do that. They can't have him go play for the Eagles. They can't have him go play for the Lions, because that's what would happen.
Oh, look at Chris Gonzalez.
Chris Gonzalez, don't forget to mention our girl Katie Goodman was on the call during the brawl. That's right. She does a fantastic job doing UIW sports. I'm very proud of Katie.
Katie's always working, man. She's on a grind all the time. She's always working.
Oh, she always is, and she is a very, very, very nice person. And I tell her every time I see her or I talk to her on the phone or whatnot, she's a star. She's a star. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Katie Goodman is a star.
And like you said, she's just super nice, very humble.
So Tyron Smith, the Cowboys are going to sign him. They're just going to, because it would be bad karma if they don't. It would just be bad if they don't. So I'm not saying that they're going to pay him the highest top dollar. They're not going to pay him $20 million a year, but 12, 14.
Yeah,
they got to. All decade team, they've got to.
no.
Now go ahead and draft somebody to be a replacement along with Tyler Smith. They got to build more through the offensive line. But
Look
go
at
ahead and
what
do it.
Elias is saying. He said
Use that to sign Derrick Henry. When was the last time the Cowboys signed a big name free agent? I mean, you can say Stephon Gilmore last year, but really on the offensive side of the ball, I haven't seen that in a long time, dude.
Yeah, look at Jason says. Jason Garcia. Shout out to you, Jason, over in Portland. Look what the Patriots did. They win with different players. Only loyalty was to bring in that Lombardi trophy, man.
Mm-hmm. And then that loyalty to Bill Belichick was gone.
Well, after so many losing seasons,
yeah,
you can only put up with so much of that bullshit.
Hey, can you go to my screen real fast?
Yeah.
Dude, I woke up to this, and it was the most exciting thing I had seen all morning long, dude. I woke up to a TikTok. It was the first thing that appeared on my TikTok feed.
I think it was at that game.
It says the time that David Robinson dominated Michael Jordan, and this is at the Hemisphere Arena. And look at this. I love so much about this video, by the way, because we're seeing the agility. I mean, running like a gazelle.
Big man.
Yeah, Jordan went for the steal and then got the F out the way. I mean, what I liked about this TikTok were the comments of people. You can tell we're not from San Antonio, because this wasn't a San Antonio person who posted this. It was just a basketball enthusiast. And a lot of the people were very, very respectful of David Robinson in this, going, man, he was ahead of his time. Some are even saying that if David Robinson were playing now, he'd be better than Giannis. And I agree.
I mean, look at
that block. Oh my God.
He could get up there. He had the athleticism, the speed, and the physique, man.
Yeah.
He was a menace in the paint, you know?
And what was great about this, by the way, and someone mentioned this in the comments. Oh, what's going on here?
Hey.
What's going on my TikTok?
I don't know.
Let me go back
what
over
are you doing,
here.
Mike?
Demon Mike showing up
already.
What is going on here?
You only get recommendations for videos that you watch.
This is interesting. No, but what I liked about this was that, as I'm going to go back over here and try to replay it again, was that they said, look at Jordan. Every time he got blocked, he didn't fall backwards. He didn't call for a foul.
He didn't flop.
He just, that was a block. I'll get him next time. These are great highlights, man.
I was at that game, I believe. I had asked for Spurs tickets for my birthday. It was cool. True story. I went to the game.
Yeah.
And then after the game, during the game, it was they had like a little pro shop there, right?
Yeah.
So you would go and buy stuff, and I asked for some cards because I was into card collecting at the time, and I got Upper Deck cards, and I had a hologram of David Robinson, and then the other stack, I got a hologram card of Michael Jordan.
Nice.
So I was like, nice.
I used to like those hologram cards, man. I used to love those.
They're not worth very much, but it's just the nostalgia factor.
Christian Zelton says Cotton 4K. That's right, baby. My TikTok feed, is stand-up comedians,
Demon Time,
sports stuff, and hot chicks.
Demon Time with
That's
Mike.
That's basically it.
Mike thinks with his other head.
Sometimes, man. Sometimes it gets the better of me.
Oh my God, dude.
Now, I'm not saying that this is entertainment news, but let's go ahead and throw on the entertainment bug.
Let me go ahead and get it,
because I like hearing it. Now, we might bounce back and forth, but before we got here today, before the show started, I was kind of depressed.
Oh God,
I was so depressed this morning because you know how we love the restaurant Sazon down the street?
Good, man.
It is good, dude. So I went over there, had some huevos rancheros with some beef fajita. It was good. It was good times, dude.
It's a good breakfast.
So the food comes out. I've had maybe a third of it. It's delicious. And they play music there, and I'm thinking to myself, this is some good music. They're playing some country music and whatnot. I figured, may as well, because it's rodeo time. And they started playing a song that I knew the lyrics to word for word because it came out when I was in high school.
God, dude.
And it was the song Don't Take the Girl by Tim McGraw. And by the end of the song, I'm trying to stop from sobbing. I was so sad. You know, the whole Johnny's daddy was taking him fishing when he was 8 years old, and you know, the whole part about the picture show, and you know, the guy pulls a gun, you know, take my wallet, you know, all this stuff, dude. It is the most depressing song of all time, but it is so great hearing Tim McGraw do that. You know, when she's struggling in giving birth, and you know, that whole "take me out of this world." Oh my god, dude, it gets me in the feels, and it got me sad, Joe. I got sad for like 15 minutes because of that song.
Oh God.
So you're telling me that there's no song, no movie or TV show that just gets you in the feels?
Not like TV shows or movies or nothing. Maybe a song, but because the song reminds me of my aunt who passed away from cancer. It was a Tom Petty song. Was it called "Don't Back Down"?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that always reminds me of the people that I lost to cancer.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, that song. That one will kind of get me in the feels, feeling nostalgic
because it reminds you of somebody.
It reminds me of somebody.
Okay,
yeah,
and that's a different way of thinking about it, man. Because you know, there's certain songs that remind you of certain people, and sometimes it's a good thing that you hear that song. But there's sometimes when you hear it, and it's like, you know, that just got me. It's making me sad because I knew that person. But I have no attachment to Tim McGraw or this particular song. It's just the lyrics are just so, you know, they make the goosebumps on your arm appear for me. The song "Father of Mine" by Everclear.
Oh God.
At the very end, when he says that he's not gonna have his kid know the pain that he knows.
Yeah.
And he screams that. And then you go back and you hear the story about how he grew up in a bad household and whatnot. And you could tell how painful he is saying that. And it's so funny because it's like, "Father of mine, tell me, where have you been?
Yeah.
You know, I just close my eyes, the whole world disappears." It's a rock song, but that very last line at the end kind of gets me. It makes the hair on my arm stand up.
See, now the guys are starting to comment with the music, you know. That's the thing that music does to you. It brings people together. You don't have to have anything in common. And then you start getting around together, you start drinking, and the music starts flowing, and you start requesting, "Hey, I like that song. Hey, I like that song too." You know, and you all start talking, and it brings people together. That's what's happening right now.
Yeah, Chris says "Live Like You're Dying" gets him every time.
Yeah, Souvenir, Switchfoot, but it was at my father-in-law's funeral.
Oh man, you see, and you know, "A One Sweet Day" was at every funeral back in the mid to late 90s, and for a lot of people, that brings back memories. Dude, when it comes to movies, dude, Field of Dreams gets me every time at the very end, man.
Jeez, bro.
Field of Dreams will get me crying and crying and crying when he turns around and talks and he says, "Dad, do you want to have a catch?" That gets me crying over and over again. TV shows. I know that when Grey's Anatomy was in its heyday, I know it's still on, but when McDreamy died, I remember everyone was just crying like crazy.
Man, Mike, you watch a lot of like lady shows,
bro. Oh, you don't want to know what I was watching last night, dude.
Damn.
Last night I was up till 1 a.m. working because I have my new role in what I do, and I was up till 1 a.m. I'll probably stay up till 1 a.m. for the next 3 or 4 weeks working. And long story short, I was just looking for something to watch. And typically I go to bed watching true crime stuff, but I didn't want to watch that because it'll put me to sleep.
Yeah.
So I need something to keep me up. It was a chick flick.
I knew
but
it
it's,
was,
but
man.
It's an acceptable one.
No,
it's an acceptable one. How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days with Matthew McConaughey. Okay, Kate Hudson, Matthew McConaughey. Good movie. No. Is it a good movie? No. Is it a bad movie? No. It is a great movie. It is a great movie because Andy Anderson by Kate Hudson. She does it for me in that show. Does it for me in that movie. Wasn't sad. Didn't make me cry, but it kept me awake. Jonathan C. says the Scrubs episode when Brendan Fraser was dead all along and everything was in Dr. Cox's head. Oh my God, I remember that. That was a very difficult episode to watch. In fact, tonight I'm going to go back and watch that episode.
Bring your Kleenex.
Oh, who said Eric Clapton's Tears in Heaven?
Oh,
Garrett from the Netherlands.
Greetings.
Says Eric Clapton's Tears in Heaven makes me think of my father who passed away. Tears in Heaven.
You know what?
It's a great song.
The guys need to do too, and you're in the chat right now. Give us some recommendations that we can put in. The theme for the week is the playlist theme for the week is dad rock. So give us your comments about what songs y'all want us to put in our Spotify playlist of the week for the dad rock. That's going to be a banger. I'm going to be listening to it, man.
I saw a TikTok earlier today. It said the most dad lyric of all time.
Jeez, what is it?
Came from Plush by STP. And it's and I feel so much depends on the weather. It says that's the most dad rock line of all time. Because we everything that we do, man. Are we gonna barbecue? Are we gonna play golf? Are we gonna go do this? And I feel so much depends on the weather is the dad line of dad rock songs.
It does, because you can feel it as you get older. You start feeling that weather in your bones, your knees, your back.
Jason Garcia, watching from the Pacific Northwest out there in Portland, Oregon, says the death of Optimus Prime got him.
You see,
when he was 5 years old.
Man, you still haven't seen this movie, and we don't want you to see this movie.
The Osbach.
We don't want you to see this movie. That's from Transformers, the movie.
Yeah.
The animated movie. And we already told you what me and Jeff are going to wind up doing is I'm probably going to wind up renting out a theater.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to have it with the other peeps coming along. So if you give this movie a bad review, you're going to get cooked live. You're going to get run out of the theater.
Oh, Sean Quintero is out and says, Mother.
Oh, my God.
By Danzig.
My friend, man, he used to sing this song when he would start getting drunk, getting litty.
Yeah.
And he would sing, he would point to everybody and he would say, your mother.
Chris Richard out saying Goose dying in Top Gun.
Oh, God.
All right. So I'm looking at an article right now from timeout.com, and this was dated 2023. So it's a recent column.
Yeah. Yeah.
The 50 best sad songs ever written. And let's go to the top 10. Let's give a thumbs up as to whether it's a good song or not, and whether or not it is sad or not. Okay. Do you want to go from 10 to 1, or should we go 1 to 10?
Go from 10 to 1. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see how many of these I recognize.
Are you showing it on screen?
Yeah.
All right. Let's see.
Now, I've never heard of this song. Number 10 is a song called No Name. Number 5 by Elliott Smith. Apparently it came out in 1997. Never heard of it, so we'll just skip through that one.
Okay.
Number 9, Someone Like You by Adele.
I hate a freaking Adele, man.
Okay, I respect her, but I don't like a lot of her music.
I
know it's good, though.
I hate the music. The gal's cool. Like, she's a cool person and everything. I don't hate people. But I get tired of her music. It's only because my wife has listened to it so much that me and my kids all hate Adele.
Well, I mean, this is a breakup song. You know, I wish nothing but the best for you.
Yeah.
And let me ask you that. Should that be the case? If you break up with somebody, should you wish to the best for somebody? Because to me, not really.
Sid Elias is saying Mike Hope and Toby Keith ain't on that list.
Yeah, Red Solo Cup is not on there. Rest in peace. Rest in peace to Toby Keith, who he is one of the people who brought along Taylor Swift. So if you hate Taylor Swift, in a way, you should hate Toby Keith because he's the one who signed her to her first deal.
Hanover Fizz.
Number 8.
Por un río. He's saying, made him think of his high school ex.
Number 8, The Boxer by Simon and Garfunkel. Wow. I don't know much about Simon and Garfunkel. I mean, I know Paul Simon, but nah, I don't know.
I think they're suing each other. I don't know if it was them or it was another band.
No Distance Left to Run by Blur. I mean, I know a Blur, but I don't know this song. Number 6, Hurt by Johnny Cash, which was also done years later.
Trent Reznor. He did that. This is a cover of that song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great song. Great song. I know it got turned into a meme when he says, I hurt. It's like people who get injured, you know. Yeah. Number 5, Driver's License by Olivia Rodrigo. Okay, I like Olivia Rodrigo, Filipina sensation. She's beautiful. She did a great performance at the Grammys. I guess this is something for those who are teenagers, right? And by the way, they misspelled license in the headline there.
License. License.
So 17 years old, and I guess it's it's a breakup song, or
Oh, that's what
someone
it was.
who is sad because of it all. It's a good song. I don't know if it's a top 10 of all time of sad songs, but it's a fine song. Number 4, Teardrop by Massive Attack. This came out in the 90s. Strange by Celeste is number 3. Number 2, Only Love Can Break Your Heart by Neil Young. I mean, Neil Young's amazing. But number 1, I kind of saw what number 1 was as I was scrolling through. I'm going to agree that this is a great sad song. Trivia question before I point it out there. Did you know that this sad song was written by Prince?
Oh, man.
Do you know what song it is?
Purple Rain.
Nothing Compares to You by Sinead O'Connor.
Okay.
By the way, the music video of that is haunting. I'm going to find that video right now.
You know, the bald-headed Sinead O'Connor.
Was she hot?
She was cute if she had longer hair, man. She was cute when she had longer hair. When she just kept it real short.
Could you be with somebody who was really pretty but was bald? And I'm not saying bald because of like, illness or whatever the case may be, but I'm just talking about bald as in like they just decided that this was going to be
we
their
can't
style.
play that music though, man. You gotta turn it lower.
I'll turn it off. I'll turn it off.
You're gonna get in trouble. We're gonna
turn
get
it off. Nothing compares to the restrictions that we get from
YouTube.
So I'll turn that off. But that was the number 1 song according to that particular column of the number 1 sad songs of all time. Nothing Compared to You is a great song. Prince's version is amazing too.
God, Jason, man. I'm bald. Am I cute, Mike?
Well, it's the goatee that is a no for me, dog. That's a no for me, dog.
Oh shit, Noah Pettis. Make Mike sing a cover. Laugh my ass off.
Since you've been gone, I can do whatever I want.
No. I'll be like Duncan. Run, Duncan. Set yourself free, brother.
I can eat my
I'm
dinner
surprised
in a
the dogs haven't gotten out this week.
You know what I'm actually going to do? They haven't gotten out. I put some cinder blocks out there, but it looks really ghetto when you have the cinder blocks there. So what I'm going to do, I have a friend of mine who posted on her Facebook page that she's looking for somebody to buy these concrete blocks from her. Okay, they're tiles.
No.
So they're 16 by 16 inch tiles. And I was thinking about it. I was like, you know what? The dogs are gonna ruin that side of the walkway anyway, because they go up and down the fence line, right? So because of that, grass is never going to grow there. So there's these 16 inch by 16 inch concrete tiles, and what I'm thinking about doing is buying them, probably buying a couple hundred of them, and just make a little walkway for the dogs along there, and leave some space there so maybe grass can grow through them. And add some dirt and whatnot to it. And because what I was planning on doing with my yard, because my yard had gone to trash for a variety of different reasons.
No.
The dogs,
Drought.
the drought was one.
No.
We had a huge trampoline in the backyard, and that killed the grass underneath it. And then on top of that, my dogs dig holes. So as time has gone on, because we've had so much rain, my Bermuda grass has been spreading, and now like 2/3 to 3/4 of my yard is beautiful and green, but the areas that are not is the fence line for the most part. I thought to myself,
where they walk.
That's where they walk. So let me just go ahead and put these concrete tiles on there, and just make a pattern, if you will, and then have the grass grow around it. And because that concrete's there, they're not going to be able to dig out, because they would have to dig up that tile.
Yeah, the best thing to do is to dig a little trench there, and then just backfill it in with gravel. Because the thing with dogs is that they'll dig because it's dirt and it's soft. But once they hit something hard like gravel or rock, they stop.
But I don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
I mean,
just trench it, dude.
I I have no desire to trench it.
You get a tiller, man. You just go out there and you start getting the ground soft, and you just dig with the pick and a shovel, brother.
Man, I got a business.
You got to get your Mexicano roots out of you,
my
man.
Mexicano roots is I like to sod yards, and I like to cut yards, and I love to cut my yard. I love to edge my yard. I love to work on the bushes in my yard, or work on and trim the trees and all that stuff. I love all that stuff. But build a trench? Fuck no. Ain't gonna ever happen.
Oh my God.
Ain't gonna ever happen.
Man, I built my own fence.
My dad and I built fences before.
I built my own fence. I built stuff. I have to do things, man, because ain't nobody coming to save you. You got to do it yourself.
Well, I mean, the problem is that like I look at a problem like that, and I think to myself, I'll give you an example. I work in finance, and I can't just hire anybody to handle to work as an assistant. They had to be somebody who is already licensed or somebody who's within the system, right?
Yeah.
And I was talking to my sister about this yesterday. I have so much paperwork. I have so much paperwork that I told her, I said, because of the change of my job, it's gonna cost me so many hours to do it.
Yeah.
And my question is, can I make more money? Can I pay somebody to do it and make just as much money doing what I do to offset it?
Yeah.
So when I see a project out there where it's like it's going to take 2 or 3 days to go do this, that, and the other, I look at it and I go, okay, it's going to cost me $3,000 for that, $4,000 for that. Can I make that while they're doing that? Can I make it on the other side? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Give me an example. I don't want to clean my house anymore, so I got a house cleaner coming in to do the bathrooms because I'm done with the bathrooms. I'm no longer, I'm separated. I work so much. I do this podcast daily. I am tired. I worked till 1 a.m. yesterday. So I'm like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go referee some basketball games, and I'm going to take that money and I'm going to pay somebody to clean my house.
Oh man.
That makes sense to me because I don't want to do it. Does that make me bougie? Does that make me money bags? We'll ask Jeff Garcia. Speaking of Jeff Garcia, don't forget to subscribe to him on Locked On Spurs and Ken's 5. Daily content of your Silver Black San Antonio Spurs. I am today's guest on Locked On Spurs. We were talking about the one question or the one thing that we're going to focus on the most when it comes to the Spurs the remaining part of the year. Like what are we going to focus on? What storyline are we most looking at right now? Sean Quintero reaches out and says, Mike is the creepy guy watching her clean. Yep, and I raised my shirt a little bit, and I put my finger at my belly button and go, mm-hmm.
Just don't do a primo.
The girl that does clean my house, though, is kind of cute.
Oh, God, man.
I mean, I'm not going to say nugget.
No.
But she's all right. She's good. She's good.
Chris Gonzalez, Mike is supporting local business.
But he's hiring a Mexican to clean. You know what? Do they mind my business?
Oh, I'm sure they rather have the business, man. But one thing that we got to go ahead and do right now is we got to give a shout out to somebody, man.
Oh, shout out.
Yeah, we're kind of entertainment news. I mean, it's Kurt Cobain's birthday, man. Great Kurt Cobain. Happy birthday, Kurt.
Kurt Cobain passed away at the age of 27, like a lot of the celebrities back in the day. Dude, Chris Leha on Twitter just retweeted me. I posted a photo of my huevos rancheros with my fajitas, and he goes, I posted, quote, trying to enjoy breakfast with Tim McGraw's Don't Take the Girl starts playing, wanted to start sobbing. The song gets me every time. His response back was, dude goes to Mexican restaurants to play country music, so it's not too ethnic for him. Okay, speaking of which, I'll like that one. Speaking of which, Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs, right? My guy, dude. Money bags himself. I did Locked On Spurs yesterday, and for those of you who don't know, Locked On Spurs is typically recorded the day before.
Yeah, it is.
And because it has to be edited and there has to be some production value done to it, so it's taped the day before. After the episode, he stops recording and we just start talking. And I'm driving to a client meeting, and he's looking at me going, "Hey, Michael, he was telling me that he was at the rodeo, and that he was surprised that I like the rodeo so much."
Yeah, I'm surprised you like the rodeo.
I love the rodeo. I have a great time at the rodeo. Not a big fan of Fiesta.
Yeah.
So he was asking me about why I like the rodeo so much, and I was kind of giving him a point by point. And I basically told him, I said, dude, no fights are going to break out at the rodeo. There are no fights at the rodeo, right? But you go to Fiesta, it's going to look like a UIW, Texas A&M Commerce game, okay? Fight's going to break out. There'll be a brawl. It'll happen. And he goes, okay. And then he goes, remember that time you said, this is Jeff Garcia saying this, that I didn't like Fiesta because it had too much Tejano involved in it. And I looked at him and I was like, what are you talking about? He goes, yeah. You said that it was too Tejano for you and you didn't like it.
Yeah.
And I looked at him and I said, what the hell are you talking about? I have never said that. And he and I went back and forth talking about this where he was like, no, Jimenez, you did say that.
You don't like Tejano music?
I don't care for it. I mean, I'm not gonna throw on 107.5 or whatever it is these days. But it's just one of those things where I'm like, dude, I did not say that, man. And he's like, no, I swear you did. I'm like, no, dude, somebody probably posted that on Twitter. You read it, and it just became reality to you that I said that, which I didn't say. Sith says Mike doesn't like Mexican stuff. I like Mexican food.
You like Mexican women?
I like Mexican women.
Oh my God, man. Hey, so you know what? We got an announcement to make too. I don't know if you can pull this guy up on your Instagram.
Yeah. What do you got?
Okay, so the guest that we're going to have here in studio, he has kind of a big following here in San Antonio, and he's, kind of lives in the area, man.
What's his name?
His name, it's Chancla Academy. So the guy's name is Joe Coronado, and he does skits all the time on Instagram. I've been following him for a while, and he's always doing stuff. He even has a mural of himself, dude. Somebody did a mural of
I got about
his skit, that he does here, his shtick here called Chancla Academy. Guy's funny, man. He's always doing stuff that we're always thinking as Mexicanos. He's puro, grew up in the West Side, Marbach area here. So we're going to have him here in studio, man. We're going to talk. We're going to see how puro we can be here in the studio. So I don't know if you want to be here for that one. We will have some breakfast tacos in the morning. We're going to be having fun
Friday, right?
This is this Friday, dude. He'll be here. He'll be live in studio with us, sitting right next to you over there. So we're going to have some topics that we got to come up with something, man. We got to give him something to give us, as far as what topics can we talk about as far as being puro, and also growing up here on this side of town,
Interesting. What side of town is he from?
He's from here, dude. He's from Marbach area. He lives in this area, man.
All right. Well, this is going to be this Friday here on the Alamo City Podcast. And can you take off my screen real fast while I look something up real fast?
Yeah.
I saw an article in I cannot believe that we didn't talk about this. The Express News has been asking the question, is the phrase being puro a bad thing?
That's puro in Latin lore is just saying pure.
Right.
So if you're being puro, you're keeping it pure, you're keeping it to your roots. You're not forgetting your gente. You know where you come from. It's part of your culture, just being Mexicano.
So this was an article from a few weeks ago, and I saw this on mysa.com. It was written by Sarah Martinez. And it asked the question, it says that the headline says, San Antonians have mixed feelings about what puro means, and I'm concerned.
Oh, God.
And let me just go ahead and read a part of it. It says, there are plenty of ways to spot a San Antonio native, talking about how people laugh and how people do certain things.
Yeah.
But it says, no doubt many of the natives and transplants alike have discussed what puro means on a Reddit thread, and I realize that the city's semi-complicated relationship with the term. Puro is Spanish for the word pure. San Antonians have made the word our own and developed in a way to describe very San Antonio things. But then it goes on and on about that is basically asking the question, does puro mean ghetto at some point?
I don't know if it means that, dude. It's just meaning like, like you want to be puro San Antonio, it's like your Tex-Mex, you have your Chicano roots, it doesn't.
But
in other words,
is that just parts of town, or is that a citywide thing?
It's a lifestyle, bro.
I'll give you an example. And it has nothing to be puro or anything like that. When I worked at San Antonio Sports Star, that's on Eisenhower Road. right behind Fort Sam Houston.
Yeah.
There are some days that I wanted a taco for breakfast, and I couldn't find a taqueria to save my life. There is like a void of taquerias there. There's a void of taquerias on the east side. There's a void of taquerias in Stone Oak. There's a void of taquerias. And what I fear, because this is part of San Antonio,
Yeah.
this is me talking here. What I fear is that so many people in San Antonio don't go beyond their own neighborhood.
Yeah.
That we're very segregated, and now we're not segregated because the man puts us there. We're not segregated because of anything other than the fact that we like to live in the west side, we like to live on the south side, we love to live on the north side, and we don't venture beyond. I know I make fun of Jeff Garcia every once in a while because I'll say, hey, do you want to come over here and meet me at this bar? And he'll go like, why don't you come over here? And it reminds me of like Field of Dreams when that one guy who's the doc, can't go across the line, because if he goes across the line, he disappears.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, dude, there's some people, for example, Southsiders, who won't go north of 410 to save their life. Madeline Mendoza of Axios and formerly of San Antonio Express News. We always joked about that she would never go north of San Antonio unless she was working or had an event over there. North of 410, north of North Star Mall was never going to happen. And I know some people on the west side who'll never go outside the west side. I know people from the north side who'll never go to the south or west side.
My sister-in-law doesn't like going out even near 1604. That's her boundary.
Yeah.
She wants to stay on the west side. She's like, this is my people. This is my territory here.
Well, and it's funny because like I feel comfortable in about 99% of the neighborhoods here in town. I don't care if I'm west side, south side, east side, north side. As I mentioned last week, I'm like Ferris Bueller, everyone likes me. They think I'm a righteous dude. But it's just so funny how there's some people who are not like that just want to stick to their own neighborhood.
Look at what Jonathan C says. He says over in the 78203 zip code, he says we use firme more than puro.
Oh, we're 78203.
Yeah, 782. We're 78245 over here.
Yeah, 78203. I'm looking it up right now.
Jeff saying, Mike told it all wrong. I asked it. He said that because I was confused. He said that I was not trying to cook him, but trying to figure out if he said it to clarify.
No, he was ragging on me. 78203 is south of downtown. Is south of downtown. Okay, so being puro, being from San Antonio, and all that stuff, I like being on all sides of town. But yesterday, Joe, I had a client meeting yesterday at a restaurant that I have seen hundreds of times, but had never gone to. I went to the Hungry Farmer.
Oh man, that's way
on
back,
Southwest
man.
Military.
Yeah, dude, I'm
35.
like, damn, bro, that's still around.
Yeah, well, I mean, okay, Little Red Barn is better.
All right.
So I was talking about that because I was with my clients, and I have a lot of clients on the south side.
Yeah.
And they're like, have you ever been here? And I was like, no, but I've driven by here so many times. And they were asking me, well, what restaurants on the south side have you gone to? And I said, well, all the jewels of Southwest Military, from Bud Jones to Don Pedro's, to all of those different places along the way, right? Yeah. And then those barbecue shacks that are behind some of those restaurants, some are pretty good. So I was like, I hadn't been to this one. And I kind of feel like I knocked one out. It's a jewel of the south side, apparently.
It's good, man. I'm just like, damn it. I was going there when I was a kid, So I'm like, damn, that place has been around for a while. And look at this, man. Chris Gonzalez says, I was just scared to go to Old Sky Harbor area, right, Joe? That's my old hangouts, man. That's where I grew up. Those are my peoples, man. But there's certain places there back in the day where you did not want to cross. You didn't want to go to the Indian Hills area, man. Sky Harbor area, Five Palms. I mean, man, there were some bad places, dude.
Hey, can I tell you where I want to go this weekend?
Where?
And if you could bring up my my screen.
Sure.
This is coming to town Thursday through Sunday. It's called
Paranormal. I've seen that.
The Paranormal Circus.
Is it Ingram? Is that at Ingram?
It was at Ingram Park Mall. The in prior years.
Yeah.
I went about 2 or 3 years ago. it is one of the most impressive things I've ever seen.
Yeah, they have a bunch of people like doing a whole bunch of different tricks and stuff, man.
Yeah. So,
Like
okay. So
performances.
they're going to have this the 22nd through the 25th. So it's Thursday through Sunday over at Rolling Oaks Mall.
Damn, that's way on the other side of
way
town,
out there,
bro.
God. It is way out there for me anyway, and for us.
For us.
But I tell you what, I have enjoyed going to the circus before. This is better than most Las Vegas shows. And no kids allowed, because it's a rated R event, in the sense that it has evil themes. It's like a demonic circus. The girls are dressed in lingerie and stuff like that. It is a excellent show, an excellent date night. I've enjoyed going to this many. I've gone twice.
You know what? We should go, and maybe we should.
Look at this. Look, shooting a freaking balloon using a mirror.
Damn. You know, we should go to this, and we should invite CT, because she's just like not too far away.
Not that far away.
Yeah,
dude, this is some cool ass shit, and it's like $25-$30 to get in.
It's not bad. Hey, I'll go in there. I'm gonna be litty if I go, dude.
Oh, they serve beer there.
I'm gonna be litty before I go.
They serve beer there, and it looks like from the outside. You have the red lights in the tent, and they have like these demonic type things at the very front. It is so cool, dude.
They're gonna catch Mike pulling a Pee Wee Herman in that place.
I tell you what, I went a couple of years ago, and there was one of the performers there, this female performer. I met her after the show.
Yeah.
She was from South America somewhere, like Colombia or Argentina. Nugget. Absolute nugget.
Hey, I've been wanting to do this for quite some time, man. I think I'm going to do this now. So we have breaking news to share. So I'm going to play the jingle.
All right.
So the breaking news is, look at what Elias just put on here.
Yeah. So GQ has an article about this right now. So thank you for the heads up. That Victor Wembanyama, Wemby, is Louis Vuitton's newest ambassador. And there's a great article, great write-up on GQ Sports about it. Looking pretty good, man. He is a stylish guy. I can't remember the last time the Spurs had a stylish person who would
stylish person.
He goes in there with, we see Wemby go out there and he has that ski mask type of thing going on, the Slender Man look. He had the other day kind of like a suit top with shorts, but it was like a dress shorts.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
So the guy is very, very fashionable.
But nothing's gonna beat his drip that he had for All-Star Weekend, walking with the cowboy hat, the jean jacket.
Yep. And he was also wearing, as an accessory, Jeremy Sohan. Jeremy Sohan was draped over him in this one photo that looked very Brokeback Mountain-ish.
Oh God, dude.
But he has a Louis Vuitton jacket on. But yeah, talking about how much he loves the brand and how much he loves the French excellence and all that Louis Vuitton stands for. Dude, we got a celebrity, baby. Look at this outfit. This is the one I was talking about with the handbag. He had the Louis Vuitton handbag. I know Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs has at least 3 of these.
And they're all Louis Vuitton, bro.
Yeah, he's got the brown one, Dude, I was watching a TikTok yesterday, and TikTok is so entertaining for me, dude. It's entertaining. And it was talking about the 10 best throwback colognes, and apparently colognes from back in the day are coming back in style. Like for young people.
Drakkar, New York.
Like Drakkar and Stetson.
Oh,
and
God,
Eternity
dude.
for Men.
Stetson,
Old Spice.
Stetson just lingers, bro. You could leave the room and you still smell that bullshit. Or was that other one? Old English Musk or something like that. That Musk one. Oh, man, those were awful.
Well, they were talking about how the old Burberry one, the Cool Water, I say the Cool Water, it's just Cool Water, and how Drakkar are like having a bit of a resurgence of popularity.
God. You got to be putting that. You got to drink a Zima. You might as well make it all 90s, bro. Jesus, man.
So it's funny because I did a business trip last year with Rudy J from the Spanish Sports Star, and now he's in the building with Mike Taylor.
Yeah.
He made fun of me because I was wearing this.
What the heck is it?
I had this cream right here, Bath and Body Works men's coffee and whiskey hydration body cream, and it was shea butter. And he looked at me when I had it on there, and he looked at me and he goes, "Dog, I want to make fun of you about this, but man, you have some massive lotion game." And he wasn't saying that in a derogatory way or a dirty way. He was like, "Can I?" He was like he was smelling it because we had. There's 2 beds in that bedroom.
Yeah,
and it was so funny because like Rob Thompson had his own bedroom, and Ryan Eagle had his own bedroom, and Minix had his own bedroom. But me and Rudy J, we shared a room, and Rudy was like, "It's because we're not white, right?" He was just joking, but we actually liked being downstairs because we had to leave at 5 a.m. and we didn't want to wake people up, right? So we were just BSing, and Rudy was like, "I'll hang with you, Jimenez." So so we shared a bathroom, and he saw my lotion, and he was like, "Dude, coffee and whiskey cream?" And he goes like, dog, this is good stuff, dude. I swear by this. I don't even wear cologne anymore. I just put this on.
Put that on. Hey, look at this. Jeff, man, he's watching. He's saying, okay, so Mike is down to go to a demonic event, but won't stay or hang out at a demonic
Oh, that's a great line there. So Jeff Garcia tried taking me to a bar one time. There's something to be said about a scary movie, because scary movies, they're not demonic. Okay. When I watch The Omen, when I watch any horror movie, those people are not demonic. They're acting to be demonic. When you go to this paranormal circus, which is a rated R circus, guess what ends up happening at the end of the show? They all become nice. They take photos with you, and you realize that it's a performance. Jeff took me to a bar one time that I walked straight out of because they had Church of Satan banners all over the place, and this was in Southtown. Now, when we got there, I didn't know that that's what it was going. That's not why we went there.
What was the name of it?
Oh, I have no idea. But the second I saw it, I was like, why am I going to be someplace where they're proudly displaying Church of Satan paraphernalia and banners all over the place? I was like, no, I'm good. So there's a difference between them being proud of it and probably actually following that.
They're practicing.
Yeah, versus going to a demonic circus where they're just acting.
It's a performance.
Big difference.
Okay,
it's a big difference.
Yeah.
Charlie Hernandez says Curve was my shit.
Curve.
That's a good one, dude.
Bro.
That's a good one.
Hey, that's a Curve. Like, you can find it at, was it like Ross, or you can find it over here at Burlington Coat Factory, JC Penney, stuff like that.
Sean reaches out and says Mike thought he would have his own room. That's why he had all the lotion. Thanks, Sean. Appreciate it.
Oh my God. You know they're gonna roast you for something.
Joe Gonzalez reached out saying all of San Antonio will be rolling around town with fake Spurs Louis Vuitton.
Just don't get that shit wet. Don't let it rain on it. Was it like you used to go at to the flea market back in the day?
Yeah.
The Dooney and Burke.
Yeah.
Remember the fake handbags?
Yeah.
And they would go and press the freaking logo on there with like glue or something.
Yeah.
And it would be like, okay, and you would grab it. The girls would grab it. Look, I got a Dooney and Burke.
Yeah, and have you been to New York City where you're like Manhattan, and they take you to like, you know, you get these people come up to you and go, hey, are you looking for a bag for this, that, and
Rolex?
and they take you into some warehouse.
Oh,
and in the warehouse they try to sell you stuff that, and you know it's fake, right?
Yeah, it's not.
But it's interesting is that a lot of the designers will look at the knockoffs and go, man, this looks pretty close. Like, it's harder to spot it.
Yeah,
it's so fun, dude. It's so fun. So I was thinking about something the other day. You know, I'm going through a divorce.
Yeah.
And we had a conversation about one of my female friends was talking to me about wedding rings. And because she got divorced, and I asked her the question, did she keep her wedding ring or not? Right.
Yeah.
And so we had this conversation, and she said something to the effect of, I did keep it, but it's not really worth that much, or whatever the case may be. And I was laughing. I was telling her, I was like, you know, going through a divorce, the ring that I got her was a very nice ring from America's Diamond. Where I got my wedding ring, was from a stand at at Ingram Park Mall upstairs. It was like one of those the Middle Eastern jewelry stores up there. It's basically a stand, and that's where I got my wedding. Yeah,
kiosk or
that's where I got my ring, man. Brutal.
Hey, you know what?
I got gypped.
They were saying somebody had said it in the chat somewhere, and they said that somebody else, a celebrity, died. Cagney Lynn Carter, famous porn star, died by suicide, man.
Is that
TMZ's reporting that on Twitter?
Well, let me go to TMZ.com.
She's found dead at the age of 36.
Cagney Lynn Carter.
Yeah.
Gruesome suicide, says killed herself with a shotgun in the mouth.
Oh, man.
So basically did it Kurt Cobain style, because we talked about Kurt Cobain's birthday being today.
Yeah.
It happened in Cuyahoga County. I'm not sure where that's at. I think that's in Florida.
Yeah.
It says her friends started a GoFundMe for her mother, who's handling the funeral arrangements. We talked about this, how there have been a handful of
deaths
of adult film stars who have either killed themselves by outright putting a gun to their head, or who have had over ODs and stuff like that. Some pretty big names that have gone on. That's crazy.
Yeah. You never know what somebody's going through, man. So
yeah, there was that one adult star who died. Was that Jessie Jane?
Yeah.
Who died with her boyfriend there
about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
about 2 weeks ago.
And Jessie Jane had gone very mainstream over the years.
Yeah. And look, Chris Gonzalez says he got his wedding ring from a piercing pagoda. That's Poodle right there.
Dude, okay, so Madam Web is at theaters right now, and everyone is dissing Madam Web right now, dude.
I'd say it's pretty bad. If it's worse than Morbius, Morbius was a pretty bad movie, and this one made even less than that. So Jared Leto no longer has that acronym right now as the lowest performing DC movie of all time. Now it's going to be Madam Web.
Madam Web, 13% on the tomato meter. So only 1 out of 8 critics liked it, and barely 56% of audience members enjoyed it.
It's a hot mess, man. I'm probably not even going to go pay to see that. It does have Sydney Sweeney and some hot girls in there, but I'll probably wait for it to come out on a streaming service for free.
A lot of people are blaming the writing. They're saying that they got the right actors for it. They said that the writing just seemed to be off.
Well, Sony just can't seem to get their shit together. They had the same problem with Morbius. It was just bad across the board. Then you go with Madam Web, bad again. I'm just like, they got to do something different, man.
And Sydney Sweeney is not a bad actress, but Dakota Johnson, dude, she's a horrible actress, just in general.
She's not bad to look at, Mike.
Joe Gonzalez says they said it's worse than Morbius.
Jeez, dude. Then I'm probably not going to watch it. Morbius was pretty bad. It suffered from, like, if that movie had came out in the early 2000s, it probably would have done pretty good. But nowadays, with poor script writing, poor acting, poor CGI, it was just a hot mess, man. Don't go watch it. And that's one thing we're going to wind up doing. We're going to have a movie review. So you know what? I was invited to go see this new series that's coming out called Shogun, right? It's going to come out on Hulu. So me and my boy, Jonas, we're going to go and check that out over at Casablanca on Thursday because we got free screening passes. So
when are we going to do the event that we need to have for the listeners? I think we need to have Transformers 1986, and I get to go watch it for the first time.
I'll get with Jeff on that so we can go ahead and coordinate it, because I want the Jefe to be there as well, because this is his baby, because he's the one that came up with the idea of, hey, we should go ahead and do this. And then I was like, you know what, maybe we rent a theater, and he was down for that. So I'm going to go ahead and coordinate it with him so we can get that actually done. And if the listeners want to go ahead and get invited to this exclusive event, they're going to have to start liking and subscribing, man.
Liking and subscribing. Don't forget to buy us a coffee. Top right, we have a QR code over there. So if you want to throw us a tip, again, I was talking to Joe earlier today, and he was telling me about how expensive some of the equipment is over here. And that's to help Joe out, man. Help Joe out when it comes to our equipment, some of the fees that we have, because the show ain't free.
Yeah,
the show ain't free, man. And of a fist saying Sydney Sweeney is so hot, but not going. Sydney Sweeney is the #1 overall seed right now in the hotties list. #1 overall seed.
Was it Sydney Sweeney was wearing a schoolgirl outfit? Hey.
That reminds me of Ana de Armas wearing the schoolgirl outfit in that movie Knock Knock
Oh yeah,
with
yeah.
Keanu Reeves. You ever see that movie?
I've seen it, man. Oh my God, they're still talking shit about you, bro. For the huevos rancheros, they were saying that plate was too white.
Dude, so, how is Sazon too white?
I'm just repeating what they're saying. And Damar Gonzalez, he's commenting on that thread right now, started by Leja. Take my huevos, take my salsa, take my papas too. Oh my! Hey, but you know what, guys? If you do want to support the show, you can always go over to our Redbubble store. It's under my acronym, T Shots Podcast, and we put that that shirt up there for sale. It's Marbach nice.
Okay, so I think some people got offended by that. You know, our good friend John Dyer yesterday was like, "Well, what does that mean?" And I'm like, I felt like saying, you know,
because you were saying about the theater, and I was like, hey, it's pretty nice, you know. And
I
you're
was
like, it's nice for Marbach, and then I forgot who it was that said it in the comments, and they go, it's Marbach nice.
Metal Neck Gale, which is out and says that the movie Hope Floats with Sandra Bullock makes her cry.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. And you know what? Hope Floats or something. I believe the guy who I knew this, and not a tall tale, I actually did. Me and my wife are friends with the man who designed a lot of the stuff on set. He's our friend. That's her brother.
Mm-hmm.
And he works in Hollywood, and he does props. He's a prop designer.
That's cool.
So that's what he does. He designs sets and all this stuff for movies, you know? So he was involved with that. So when we went to watch the movie, we were watching it with our friend, and she's like, my brother did that. I saw that. My brother did that.
Hope Floats was filmed in Austin
Yeah.
Back in the late 90s. And my friends and I bumped into Harry Connick Jr. when he was at a bar over there on 6th Street. You know, they would go out there and party after their shoots and whatnot. So I found that to be cool.
Yeah, Joe Gonzalez says, y'all and 25 guests for the private screening.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's John C. I want royalties, but I'll also settle for a free shirt. He's going to wear that proudly. It's Marbach nice. I want to wear that. If we go to the Mike Taylor barbecue, bro, I'll be selling those son of bitches out there.
It's Marbach
nice.
It's
Marbach nice. I bet you Mike will wear one too. He goes, that's Puro. I already can see him saying that.
So where does Puro end? What give me the map of Puro in San Antonio?
I don't know, man. South side. You're talking about, you know, South side, West side.
I'll give you some high schools that might be on the fringe.
Holmes,
Jefferson High School.
Jefferson, all right.
Puro?
Holmes is Holmes.
Holmes? Yeah, I think it is.
Well, you're saying it's the melting pot of different cultures.
Well, it was back in the day. It ain't anymore.
You know?
But, I mean, you had Ingram Park Mall. Ingram Park Mall was Puro. So, you know, by extension, Holmes has to be because it's across the street.
Well, back in the day, Fox Tech, Burbank. You're out there with Burbank, yeah. Fox Tech.
Brackenridge.
What is that other one called? Highlands?
Harlandale, McCollum.
Yeah, you're out there, man. You're in the Puro area.
West Campus.
West Campus is West Campus is too Puro for you, bro. You would have got your ass kicked. You went to my high school, man. I guarantee it.
I mean, I've been to that high school. I remember going to that high school when I was in high school.
Hey, man, our basketball court.
Yeah,
it was the jewel, man.
Made
it was
famous
one of
by
the
Devin
best.
Brown.
Hey, man, I saw Devin Brown when he was a kid. I didn't know he was gonna be the Devin Brown that he is now, but I knew his cousin, you know. And he's like, I said, "Who's that kid playing?" "Oh, that's just my cousin Devin. Don't pay him no mind."
That's a great line. I'm glad that you brought up that Delmar Gonzalez brought the "Take my huevos, take my salsa,
oh, God,
take
man.
my papas too." Dude, don't take the girl, man.
Don't take the girl.
Got me in my feels today.
Out there trying to eat your huevos rancheros.
I hadn't put the sauce in it. That's why it looks white, because I hadn't put the sauce on it yet. I thought they were going to do it by themselves, or on their own, but they didn't.
Oh, man. Hey, but shout out to Wemby, man. He's doing his thing, getting signed by Louis Vuitton. Good for him, man.
I'll take it.
Hey, and the Spurs, they're going to be back in action on Thursday. But you know what? The consolation prize is because the Spurs haven't been playing. Spurs Twitter's been awful quiet.
It has been. It's like we took a vacation.
Hey, nobody's fighting. Nobody's calling each other out. Nobody wants to go out in the streets. Well, let's go ahead and take care of this right now, kind of bullshit. I mean,
I miss everybody. I miss being yelled at by Spernandez and Bushby and Leha and all them. And
for your bad takes.
Matt Lerma. Dude, I'm looking at the calendar right now. Today is February 20th. We take the show on the road 1 month from today.
Really?
From Las Vegas, Nevada.
Nice. You're going to take your headset?
Oh, yeah. I'm going to take my headset. But beyond all that, be taking the show on the road again in April because I will be working in Charlotte, North Carolina for a few days.
Nice.
I've never been to Charlotte. I mean, I've been to Charlotte, but I've never stayed there. I've hung out there for a couple of hours and then moved on over to Greensboro or moved on over to Charleston or whatever. But I've never stayed in Charleston.
Oh. Look, I'm retweeting it right now. Jeff Garcia just put out the tweet of you being a guest on Locked On Spurs.
Yeah.
So I tweeted that out right now.
Very cool.
So they can go ahead and check that out. And I'll ask Jeff privately, did Mike say anything stupid in this one? Get cooked again? I'm like, oh, God. Should there be something that I should know about, Jeff? Because it's going to come out tomorrow's show. Like, oh, God, man.
Well, I tell you what, man, we got to get on with our day. I want to thank everybody for watching the show. We have new things that are coming up. Again, we have a guest on Friday, going to bring some comic feel to what we do. We'll remember about Carolina Teague next Tuesday. If you want to check out Carolina Teague, RCW 22nd birthday is this Sunday. I've already bought my tickets. I'll be there on Sunday. Come by, say hi to me. I'm in section B, row 3. Come say hi. First 2 people come and say hi. I'll buy you a beer.
There you go.
I always do that. Buy you a beer. Okay.
That's cool.
But aside from all that, I got to get back to the office. My name's Mike Jimenez. That's Joe Garcia. This is the Alamo City Sportscast. Don't forget at 2:00, we got Rudy Campos Jr. with Sweep the Leg.
Sweep the league.
Sorry.
Sweep the leg.
Sorry.
Sweep the league.
I had Karate Kid in my head.
Sweep the league, Johnny. No, it's Sweep the League. Rudy Campos is going to be doing Sweep the League every day at 2:00. So come back here to our YouTube channel as he also does a live show. So you can interact with him and Rocky Garza Jr., Coach Gio, Derek Gervin, and another slew of guests that they might have coming out and doing some sports talk.
Before we leave, I like Chris's comment there. Poodle is 410 to 281 to I-37. I'm going to say that it loops around 1604, gets Somerset, and gets Southwest High School along the way. And then back over to Jay.
Hey, man, Southwest High School, dude. That's way out there in the sticks.
I live by it, dude. I mean, I live in West Bear County.
Yeah,
it's fine. My kid would go to Brennan, but we live far from Brennan. It's so funny. My neighborhood, 3 sides surrounded is Medina County, is Medina School District, but we live in the north side, barely in the north side. Interesting. My name is Mike Jimenez. That's Joe Garcia. We'll be back tomorrow.
See you guys. Peace.